going to be making pizza dough. This is going to be very simple, quick, easy recipe for pizza dough. I actually do not follow a recipe, I just kind of go by feel. And I have this bowl, I have a little bit of water, and I have put some sugar, just like a teaspoon of sugar, and this is going to activate the yeast. I have some quick rising yeast. You just put it on the water, and we're going to make just probably like a medium pizza or two personal size pizzas. So this is what we use. We use 1 envelope. Usually I will use just regular active dry yeast, but it's getting late at night and I have to go to work tomorrow, so I just want to do this quick. And you can use also some oregano for your dough or some basil. I usually use basil for my dough. So we're going to mix this, and as soon as it starts bubbling, which will take only a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops, we're going to start adding some of the flour to the mix. So this is our yeast already frothy. This was a mix of tepid water, yeast, and sugar. We're going to add it to the flour, all of it, and we're going to mix it. We're going to add probably about a cup of water and about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Again, I go by feel. To me, that's probably about 2-3 tablespoons, so that's it. I'm going to add some of my basil. And I'm going to mix it again. I'm going to add a little bit, probably a little bit more flour, because I need to make at least 2 good sized pizzas, like 2 individual pizzas for 2 hungry kids. I'm gonna add more flour and more water, and then I will show you how it looks. So this is how it looks like after you have added about half a cup of water and 1 cup of flour. If you're used to buying pizza at the store, you may require to add a little bit of salt to your flour, just to give it the typical flavor of a store-bought pizza. Not too much though. And I want to start mixing it by hand. So this is how it starts to look like. As you can see, it's still a little bit sticky, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to let it sit, not for very long. Pizza doesn't take a long time to make. It's actually a very fast. I'm going to let it sit for maybe 5 minutes, just while I'll do some of the dishes here, and I'll come back to it and we'll keep working on it. I'm ready to put it in a pan. The dough, as it rises, it gets sticky, and all you have to do is put a little bit of flour before you start playing around with it. And as you can see, it's very spongy. You'll get used to that feeling later. I'm going to squeeze it and kind of shape it to fit in the tray. Don't be afraid, it's very elastic. When it has almost the shape of the pan, I'm gonna let it sit. Just gonna let it sit for another 5 minutes. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil on top of it, like just a little bit, so I can spread the olive oil around the bread on top of it, and so it doesn't dry while it rises. And I'm gonna let it sit just for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna cover it with a towel so it rises faster. Fernanda asked me for cheese only, so usually she asks for cheese and pepperoni, but today she asked me for a cheese pizza only. Now I bought some mozzarella cheese this time, but sometimes I use even like a mix of cheddar and mozzarella. So this is the first pizza that I made. Put it in the oven. As you see, I mean, it's still quite fluffy. I like the cheese to be toasty, but you can let it cook as long as you like. I'm gonna let it cool. I don't want to burn my tongue, and this is what the kids are gonna have for a snack.